Standing at the entrance of the exclusive club, the joking and laughter from inside felt like needles piercing me. 8 years of dedication suddenly exploded in my mind. When she asked me to focus on child rearing at home, she probably already saw me as a stepping stone. The cruel way she screamed younger men know how to please a woman over the phone, and Leo's cold "you're a bad guy" when he pushed me, instantly solidified into a painful knot. I pulled out my phone and sent a message to her arch-enemy's director. The collaboration we discussed, I'm in. I found the location of that membership card. It was a renowned high-end exclusive club, catering exclusively to the wealthy. Taking a deep drag from my cigarette, my heart felt heavy. I'd noticed things were off a few months ago. My wife, Serena, had a new wardrobe full of lingerie and some used adult toys hidden in a corner. When I confronted her, she sneered with an arrogant expression. What? Can't a woman express her desires? Maybe we'll use them someday. But I knew it was just an excuse. Ever since our son, Leo, was born, she had been avoiding me. We didn't even have basic marital intimacy. I respected her, so much so that I hadn't dared to touch her for years. There was no way these items were meant for me. The clock on the wall chimed, jolting me back to reality. It was already 10 at night. I called her several times, but no one answered. Today was our wedding anniversary. I had specifically sent Leo to Serena's mother's house, wanting to celebrate properly with Serena. I had ordered a custom pair of jewelry she liked and decorated the entire house with roses. I checked my phone. The last message was me asking her to come home early. I tried calling again, and this time it connected. An ambiguous voice came from the other end. Sweetie, what kind of service would you like? We can come to you. It was a man's deliberately lowered, seductive voice. I hung up immediately, my heart pounding. The contact name clearly showed it was Serena's phone. Before I could call again, her WhatsApp message arrived. I'm in a meeting. Can you stop being so annoying? After sending it, she blocked me. This was her usual trick. Serena and I met through friends. I was a jewelry designer, and she was my assistant. As we slowly got to know each other, we naturally got married. Our relationship was good for the first 2 years, and Leo was born soon after. But starting last year, our relationship changed. She became a chief jewelry designer based on my designs, earning millions annually. Then, she suggested I resign and stay home to raise our child. You know my dream. It took me so much effort to reach this position. I can't give up my career. You are just coasting along at the company anyway. Why don't you help me with child rearing at home and occasionally assist with my designs? For the sake of our family, I agreed and became a stay-at-home dad. But she started coming home later and later, sometimes not returning for days. When she did come back, she smelled of cigarettes and alcohol. I couldn't help but ask her about it, and she snapped back, pointing her finger at me. Ethan, aren't I working so hard for this family? What right do you, a stay-at-home dad, have to control me? Can you entertain those big clients? Stay out of my business. Just focus on taking care of our son. I couldn't argue with those words. Everyone in our circle said I was lucky to have married a successful wife, and was freeloading at home, but I could feel their eyes on me, like they were looking at a pathetic creature, as if I had truly become a useless freeloader. I looked at the house filled with roses and the unworn jewelry. I sneered and threw all the flowers into the trash. Just then, my phone rang again. I thought it was Serena returning, but it was a spending alert. Our cards were linked, so I received notifications for all her expenses. Checking the order, it was the private room rental fee for that exclusive club. Looking at the secondary card, there was also a purchase from an adult store. My hands trembled. I calmed myself and took screenshots of all these records. For her sake, I had tolerated too much from her over the years, but she had taken my patience for weakness, becoming increasingly indifferent. The text on the membership card was sickeningly clear, following the address. I quickly arrived at the exclusive club. As I was about to enter, the front desk stopped me. Excuse me, tonight is a private event. Do you have a reservation? I suppressed my rage, my nails digging into my palms. Is here. May I ask who you are? I'm her husband. At my words, the front desk attendant's expression immediately turned strange. I apologize. Serena has indeed booked the entire venue, but you cannot enter without an invitation. Those words completely ignited my fury. She had money to spend on having affairs, but never took care of our household expenses. Every time I asked her for living expenses, she would sarcastically mock me. You are a grown man. constantly asking me for money, have some self-respect, will you? Look around, who else is useless like you at home, can't even pretend to be decent? I need your permission to see my wife. Either let me in, or I'll call the police right now. Don't think I don't know what kind of business you are running here. My threat startled them, and they quickly called security. Sir, please, don't do this. We have respectable guests here. If you cause a scene, it will make things difficult for everyone. Before she finished speaking, the private room door opened. I saw Serena walk out, embraced by a man in heavy makeup. His hand was inappropriately caressing her waist. Without a second thought, I rushed forward, my fist landing directly on his punchable face. Serena finally recognized me, her face turning pale. You, how did you get here? I looked at the man groaning on the ground and sneered. Well, so this is why you haven't been home for so long. You've been here enjoying yourself with men. Serena's face instantly turned ashen at my words. She helped the man up, shielding him behind her. What are you talking about? I haven't been home because I've been busy. Can't you stop being so unreasonable? I just closed a big deal today, so I booked this place to celebrate with my employees. I grabbed her collar, and she stumbled, startled. As her collar opened, ambiguous red marks were exposed. The silk lingerie she had been wearing was nowhere to be seen. Celebrating by rolling into bed with a gigolo. Have you no shame? I cursed through gritted teeth, my heart aching to the point of death. Serena completely dropped the pretense, adjusted her clothes, and looked at me with disdain. Ethan, I earn millions a year now, what's wrong with having some fun? You are useless, so you deserve to stay home and watch the kid. If it weren't for your occasional usefulness, you'd have been gone a long time ago. Do you really think I can't live without you? There are plenty of men out there better than you. Serena spoke with that same arrogant expression, as if she were completely in the right. The man with her also got bolder, and dared to lecture me. Sir, you are being unreasonable. Serena works so hard, it's rare for her to relax. When faced with such a beautiful woman, a man should know how to cherish her, right? As this jerk spoke, his hand continued to caress Serena's waist. Serena didn't pull away. Instead, she looked as if she was enjoying it. I sneered. Cherish her? A gigolo who only serves rich women dares to lecture me. Serena's eyes turned cold, and she shoved me hard. Ethan, watch your mouth. Derek is a graduate of a prestigious university and the club manager. His background is much better than yours. You are just an ignorant nobody. Stop embarrassing yourself here. By now, many people had gathered, whispering incessantly. Serena cared most about her reputation, so her tone softened slightly. Let's talk about this at home. Do you really have to make a scene and let everyone know? Are you not embarrassed enough? The anger I had suppressed for 8 years finally erupted. What? You've been sleeping with a gigolo for so long and aren't afraid of losing face? Since so many people are watching, why don't you tell everyone how you climbed to the top using men? Let the people at headquarters know how you became chief. For 8 years, I had been utterly spineless. She climbed to her position using my work, yet I had to beg my wife for money and endure her disgraceful behavior outside. Serena immediately panicked, pulling me into a corner, and threatening me in a low voice. What the hell are you doing? Do you know how hard it was for me to get to this position? I did it all for this family, to give Leo a better life. Fine, then let's get a divorce. Leo comes with me, you can continue chasing younger men, and we'll see what Leo thinks when he finds out what kind of person his mother is. Serena froze, seemingly not expecting me to say such a thing, but soon, that arrogant expression returned. Divorce. You think you are worthy? How will you live without me? With your skills, you won't even find a dishwashing job. There are so many important people at this exclusive club right now, I could say one word, and you'll never work in the jewelry industry again. Go ahead and divorce me, if you dare. Her words pierced my heart like knives. She always thought I couldn't leave her, and often boasted to her friends, men need to be managed this way. Look at Ethan, he's as obedient as a dog now, whatever I say, goes. Looking at her arrogant expression, I felt nothing but disgust. I raised my hand and slapped her. With a sharp asterisk smack asterisk, half her face immediately swelled up. Aren't you pathetic? At your age, being played like this by a gigolo, and you're proud of it. A sick excuse. You dare hit me. I'm calling the police. Serena shrieked hysterically, covering her face, deliberately drawing more onlookers. The whispers in the crowd grew louder. Derek quickly embraced Serena, wiping her tears with a sympathetic expression. Go ahead and divorce me. I was blind to marry an abusive man like you, a useless person who only resorts to violence. After that, Serena disappeared. She changed her phone number, blocked me from her social media, and blacklisted me from WhatsApp. I couldn't find her to sign the divorce papers. I didn't dwell on that. My priority was picking up Leo from Serena's mother's house. A shameless mother like her shouldn't raise a child. Besides, I had raised Leo myself. As soon as I reached her house, I heard Serena's mother's sharp, critical voice. You have the nerve to come to my house. A man hitting a woman, is that how your parents taught you? Do you have no upbringing? I ignored her, but she only grew more verbally abusive. My daughter is so outstanding, reaching such a position at such a young age, and you, mooching off my daughter, freeloading at home, aren't you ashamed? When I go to my community dance group and people ask about my son-in-law, I have to bow my head. I'm too ashamed. I rarely visited Serena's mother's house over the years because she only cared about her daughter. In her eyes, Serena marrying me was a great favor. After I became a stay-at-home dad, not only did she look down on me, but she also made my parents feel small, saying they raised a useless son. I'm here to pick up Leo today. Serena and I are getting a divorce. Just as I finished speaking, Serena emerged from the house, holding Leo's hand. Her eyes were red and swollen, looking utterly wronged. A typical hypocritical act. I rubbed my ear and sneered. She was quite good at pretending. How could she be so reckless outside and then worry about her reputation now? Serena's mother was heartbroken at the sight, and continued to mutter about me. I coldly retorted to Serena's mother, she works outside, and I take care of the child at home. Why do you pretend not to see that? Those words completely enraged Serena's mother. You have the nerve to say that. A man freeloading at home, spending my daughter's money, and you are not ashamed. He's not even as good at earning money as a gigolo. I flared up at her words. What? Is it glorious that your daughter keeps a gigolo? She has no shame herself, and she wants to corrupt the child. I'm taking Leo with me today. I pushed Serena's mother aside, who was blocking my way, and reached for Leo, but he suddenly pushed me hard, and I stumbled, nearly falling down the stairs. Clutching the railing, I looked back at him in disbelief. Leo clung to Serena's leg, crying loudly and pointing at me. I don't want to go with you. Uncle said he's my real dad. He a bad person who only yells at me. At that moment, I felt the world spin. My blood turned to ice instantly, and I trembled all over. Serena and that man's betrayal hadn't hurt me this much. I looked at this son, whom I had cherished from birth, raised from infancy, and tears nearly fell. I bit my lip hard to suppress my emotions. Fine. If this is how it is, I don't want either the wife or the son. The divorce proceedings were complicated. Serena had prepared all sorts of evidence, claiming domestic abuse, and ultimately the judge awarded her custody. Leaving the court, Derek was waiting, leaning against his sports car, a hateful smile on his face. As soon as Leo saw him, he cheered and dove into his arms, like a little bird. Dad, you are finally here to pick me up. I missed you so much. I stood on the steps, watching the son I had worked so hard to raise call another man dad. That feeling was worse than a knife to the heart. Derek held Leo with one arm and wrapped the other around Serena's waist, deliberately flaunting their affection in front of me. He flashed me a victor's smile. Ethan, thank you for taking care of them these past few years. I'll make sure they have a better life from now on. I couldn't be bothered with that despicable pair, because his marital infidelity was irrefutable. She had to pay me a settlement. The house, which I bought before marriage, was listed with a real estate agent. I had told Serena to move her and Leo's belongings, but she kept dragging her feet. When I finally threw out all their stuff, she came to demand an explanation. Ethan, what's the meaning of this? You sell the house without even discussing it with me. Her face was flushed with anger. Of course, this house was a downtown luxury apartment in a prime location, convenient for Leo's future schooling. Given the current market, it would be difficult to buy another property like it. I smiled faintly. What's wrong? I paid for the house in full, and I paid for all the renovations. What right do you have to criticize? Also, Serena, don't forget whose hands those award-winning designs came from. Don't come asking for my help again. She had been flourishing in the industry these past few years, but no one knew that those popular designs all came from my hand. She used my work as capital and then called me a freeloader. Serena was speechless, stewing for a long time, before she finally said, "Think about Leo. If this house is sold, how will he attend a prestigious school?" Mentioning, my heart twisted again in pain. I hadn't let go of that child since his birth, and this wonderful mother couldn't even remember her son's birthday. I took a deep breath, forcing down the pain in my heart. What do I care? Doesn't Leo have Derek as his real dad? Go find him. Serena froze, clearly not expecting me to say such a thing. In her eyes, I would always be the fool who was obedient for the sake of our child. She gritted her teeth, stomped out in her red-soled heels, and slammed the door. I changed all the locks and passwords, cutting off any chance of her pestering me again. Those who used to mock me for marrying Serena now came to ridicule me. "Ethan, you are useless. You let such a beautiful and capable wife get stolen away. You deserve to be single. Who doesn't want something fresh and new with a young, pretty woman? You've been a nanny for 8 years at home. Can you expect her to be interested in you forever? If I had such a rich wife, I wouldn't care who she was with. I'd just take the money and enjoy myself, wouldn't I? Why are you so stubborn?" This group of people all thought I was a pushover who lived off his wife, and that I'd be ruined without Serena. They didn't know that even though I had been child-rearing at home these past few years, my connections and reputation in the industry remained strong. Which of Serena's award-winning works over the years didn't come from my hand? Which of her best-selling jewelry pieces wasn't meticulously crafted through my sleepless nights? Industry insiders lamented my retreat to the background, saying Serena was just the second Ethan. She was just living off my legacy. Without me, she was nothing. I immediately signed with Serena's company's competitor. I wanted to see what kind of tricks she could pull without my help. In less than half a month, she lost 5 major clients consecutively. The media, which had always praised her, began criticizing her talents. The director personally came to celebrate with me. "Ethan, you truly live up to your reputation. In just 1 month, you've poached all our competitors' orders. We can finally feel proud." I smiled without speaking. Our company's order volume surged, doubling our market share within a month. At this point, Serena finally couldn't help but contact me. I had just finalized a collaboration with an important client. A call came in. Her voice sounded exhausted. She had clearly been overwhelmed recently, losing major clients and having to deal with various doubts. She was probably so anxious she couldn't sleep well. "Ethan, can you be flexible about the house? I want to buy it. 30 million. Not a penny less." The other end of the phone was silent for a while, then suddenly exploded. "Ethan, are you trying to rob me? A $7 million house, and you want to sell it for 30 million. You are taking advantage of the situation." Of course, I knew why she was so desperate. Leo was approaching school age, and this house had a great location, and was in a good school district property. If she moved, she'd have to start building connections from scratch. "Don't be too excessive. I know you are upset, but you need to think about our child, don't you? 10 million, that's already the market price." I couldn't help but scoff. Is running out of money. Last week, she casually bought a $10 million luxury car to butter up the gigolo. Now she's complaining about the price for her son's house. You figure it out, either pay the money, or get lost. With that, I hung up the phone. As fate would have it, after dropping off my client, I ran into Serena at the hotel entrance. Without a word, she grabbed her handbag and started hitting me with it. "Ethan, what do you mean by this? Are you deliberately trying to ruin me? I'll sue you for extortion in court." Only then did she notice my client standing beside me, and she froze. The client looked at her with disgust. "Ms. Serena, didn't we make it clear last week? Your company's design level doesn't match our brand positioning. Ethan's proposal is far superior in both creativity and quality. Please don't bother us anymore." Serena had always thought highly of herself and had never been humiliated so directly. Her face flushed, her lips trembling, unable to speak. Suddenly, it seemed to click for her, and she glared at me. "So, you've been sabotaging me behind my back. You deliberately stole all my clients." I didn't bother with her, said goodbye to my client, and prepared to leave. She shouted behind me, "Ethan, wait a minute. Leo is starting school soon, and the house is really important. I've said all there is to say. If you want the house, pay my price. Otherwise, no deal. I walked away without looking back. Through the rearview mirror, I saw her still pestering my client. It made me laugh to think about it. If it weren't for my designs supporting her all these years, her mediocre skills would have been true colors exposed long ago. The house was eventually sold to a wealthy businessman, who paid generously. I knew Serena too well. She was only interested in the house's appreciation potential, using Leo's schooling as an excuse, but secretly just wanted to make a quick buck. For this past month, any project she tried to get, I would poach in advance. Watching her overwhelmed, I felt an indescribable satisfaction. Finally, one day, she blocked my way after work. "Ethan, do you have to be so difficult with me?" I looked at her coldly. In just 1 month, she had become noticeably haggard. Her usual arrogant demeanor was gone, and even her makeup was smudged. Without my designs, her limited abilities were laid bare. "What? You can't manage without me? Didn't you say I'd be begging on the streets if I left you?" I mocked her. "Are you just realizing now whose credit those award-winning designs actually were?" Serena suddenly lunged forward and grabbed my arm. I was startled by her sudden movement. As I looked up, I saw several sneaking paparazzi hiding behind a car. My eyes turned cold, and I violently shook her off. This woman actually intended to use such low-handed tactics against me. "Serena, you'd better not play these games. You might just be playing with fire." I didn't know what other dirty tricks she planned to pull, but if she dared to cross my line, I would ruin her reputation. For the next few days, I was on guard, expecting her to stir up some media storm, but instead, I received a different call. My phone kept ringing incessantly during a meeting. I initially thought it was Serena causing trouble again, but when I answered, I heard Leo's cries. "Dad, I feel so bad. My stomach hurts so much, help me." My heart instantly tightened. Before I could ask for details, I heard Derek cursing, and then the call was disconnected. I quickly asked my assistant to find out what was happening, and what I learned almost infuriated me to death. The jerk had actually fed Leo mango. The child had been allergic to mangoes since he was little. Even a touch would cause a full body rash, vomiting, and diarrhea. I sighed. I couldn't blame Leo too much. He was so young. He didn't understand the dirty dealings of adults. Just a little appeasement was enough to win him over, making him think any dad was the same. When I arrived at the hospital, Leo had already been rushed into the emergency room. Derek, the jerk, was sitting in the hallway playing on his phone, looking completely unconcerned. My vision blurred, and I strode over, grabbed his collar, and began to beat him furiously. Punch after punch landed on his looking respectable, but a scumbag face. He screamed for help, drawing hospital staff, but no one dared to intervene. Serena rushed over, pulled me away, and with trembling hands, wiped blood from Derek's face. "Ethan, are you crazy? Are you trying to kill him? How ridiculous!" As a mother, her son was in emergency, yet she only cared about this scum. "Serena, have you forgotten Leo is allergic to mangoes? Last time, you insisted he try an imported mango, and it almost killed him. And now this again." She shouted back at me, "Don't pretend to be a good guy. Who said they didn't want their son? What's wrong with eating a little mango? He's so big now, he's not that delicate. You are the one who spoiled him." I trembled with anger, my fists clenching audibly. The doctor said Leo had undergone stomach pumping, but his fever wouldn't break, and his condition wasn't good. I squatted in a corner, praying incessantly. If I had known this would happen, I would never have let Leo stay with that despicable pair. Just then, the doctor said the child needed a blood transfusion, and I immediately stood up. "I'm his father. Take my blood quickly, as much as you need. Please, you have to save my son." Before I finished speaking, Derek sneered and cut in. "Let's use mine instead, since the official birth record showed me as the father." The doctor asked me to go for blood extraction, but when the blood test results came back, the doctor gave me horrifying news. "You and the child are not blood relatives." I stood frozen, turning to look at Serena, who nervously avoided my gaze. Derek handed me a paternity test report, smiling sinisterly. "I'm sorry, Ethan, but Serena and I have actually known each other much longer than you." He leaned closer, his voice cold. "The child is mine. I'll discipline him however I want. Who told that kid to constantly ask for you?" I turned and kicked Serena in the stomach. If the medical staff hadn't held me back, I would have beaten that despicable pair to death. Pointing at the still-lit operating room light, I trembled all over, unable to utter a single word. 8 years, a full 8 years. I cherished this child as my life, only for him to be someone else's. My family, it turned out, was a joke from beginning to end. Serena, you despicable wretch, you'll get your comeuppance sooner or later. I gnashed my teeth. The child isn't mine, so don't expect a single penny of child support from me. With a jerk like Derek, he'll ruin both of you eventually. Leaving the hospital, I felt completely numb. For 8 years, Leo had been by my side from birth, his first time saying daddy, his first day of kindergarten. I was there for it all. Now, I was being told this child was the jerk, Derek's, offspring. Back home, I looked at the photo of Leo and me on the coffee table. He had just learned to walk then, his chubby little hands wrapped around my neck. My eyes welled up, and I quickly threw the picture frame into a drawer. I packed all of Leo's toys and clothes in the house and mailed them to Serena. From then on, I cut all ties with that mother and son, but after Derek learned he was the biological father, he kept sending me anonymous texts. How does it feel? Finding out you've been cheated on for 8 years. You're a joke, raising someone else's kid for 8 years. Thanks for taking care of my wife and son. You really worked hard. I don't know where he got my number, probably from Serena, but I couldn't be bothered with such low-handed tactics. I focused on my work, trying to accept the reality. Just then, the company CEO called me in a panic. Ethan, something big has happened. Check the trending topics. If this escalates, our new jewelry line will be ruined. I opened Twitter. My direct messages were overflowing, all filled with baseless insults. The top trending topic was a video, the exact moment Serena had deliberately grabbed my arm that day. She had also hired someone to edit in clips of Leo in the emergency room, while she sat in front of the camera, weeping hysterically. Ethan is not a good father at all. He freeloaded at home for 8 years, couldn't do anything, and out of jealousy for my successful career, he constantly worked against me. He scammed me out of a large sum of money in the divorce, and now he's abandoning his own son. He even steals my clients at work. He has lost all basic humanity. Serena usually cared most about her reputation, but I never imagined she would put on such a show to ruin me. She had been in the industry for so many years, and understood the power of public opinion deeply. She must have spent a lot of money generating hype this time. The comment section was full of people insulting me. No wonder, I'd never heard of this person before, and suddenly he's a company executive. Turns out he got there by playing dirty. His designs look so similar to Serena's old style, he probably copied them. A scumbag is a scumbag, abandoning his child just like that. Truly disgusting. Watching these senseless criticism, I actually calmed down. Serena was desperate, willing to discard her last shred of dignity. Since she wanted to play, I would go all out. I immediately posted the paternity test report online, who cheated, and whose child it is. Everyone can see for themselves, can't they? Even with the paternity test as evidence, the online sentiment didn't immediately shift. Serena had likely spent heavily on paid commentators. The comment section still accused me of being heartless and ungrateful. I sneered and started a live stream. Since everyone is so concerned about the truth, I'll tell you what really happened these past 8 years. I gave up my own career to raise a child at home, all to fulfill her ambitions. All her accolades were meticulously crafted through my sleepless nights. Look closely at her recent designs. Their quality has plummeted, losing even basic aesthetics. Why? Because I'm no longer there to clean up her messes. Not only am I suing her for defamation, but I'm also suing her for intellectual property infringement. Just you wait and see. A week later, I officially sued Serena for plagiarism and infringement, with irrefutable evidence. It became clear just how much she had relied on my designs over the years. Public opinion quickly reversed, and netizens began to sympathize with me, the exploited victim who had been cheated on. Furthermore, people dug up dirt on Derek. Isn't this the infamous for his poor performance guy from the exclusive club? He's not good looking, and his body isn't great either. Serena must be blind, settling for a man like this. Poor kid. His biological dad is a gigolo, and his biological mom is a crazy woman. The public uproar reversed unexpectedly, but Serena remained silent. This was unlike her character. Only on the day of the hearing did I realize why she had disappeared. Serena looked incredibly haggard, with none of her usual jewelry left. I heard her accounts had been emptied, and all her luxury items sold to pay off debts. The company had also kicked her out. She couldn't make it in this industry anymore. Ethan, please listen to me. Posting those videos wasn't my idea. Derek threatened me. She tried to grab my sleeve, but Derek yanked her away. You despicable wretch, daring to tattle, are you? You are my wife now, you have to obey me. He sneered. Think carefully about what you'll say in court. Serena meekly nodded, her eyes full of pleading as she looked at me. I had never seen her so disheveled. The once formidable businesswoman now looked like a stray dog. If she hadn't been so greedy, she might have forged her own path with her abilities. On the day I won the lawsuit, I let out a long breath. As I was about to leave, Serena chased after me. Disheveled, she pulled at my clothes. Please save me. Derek absconded with all the money and fled abroad. The hospital is pressuring us to discharge Leo, and I'm truly at my wit's end. He's still so young. Even if he's not yours, can you really bear to watch him die? I pushed her away in disgust, patting down my wrinkled clothes. What does it have to do with me? You chose that man yourself. Now that he's run off with the money, you remember me. The child is yours and his. His life or death has nothing to do with me. Serena seemed to lose all strength and collapsed to the ground. Derek sneered and dragged her away. Stop acting crazy. You belong to me. Now, just quietly come and help me pay off the debts. Now was infamous in the industry. No one dared to hire her. Meanwhile, I experienced a blessing in disguise. My designs became more sought after, and my worth multiplied several times within a few years. I won consecutive international awards in the jewelry industry. 6 months later, I saw Serena again at a jewelry exhibition. She was standing outside the exhibition hall with Leo, gazing at the brightly lit interior. I remembered how she used to be the center of attention at such events. Now, she couldn't even get past the entrance, and was being shooed away by security. Even after the crowd dispersed, she remained there. Leo was painfully thin. His bald head and sunken face were heartbreaking. Dad. He timidly whispered, then quickly bit his lip. Serena grabbed my hand, tears streaming down her face. Ethan, please, I beg you to help us. Derek absconded with all the money and fled abroad. The hospital is rushing us to discharge Leo, and I'm truly at my wit's end. The child is still so young. Even if he's not yours, can you really bear to watch him die? I know I was wrong. We can still start fresh, can't we? I avoided Leo's yearning gaze and sneered. Dream on, I'm getting married soon. I'll have a new wife, a new child, and from now on, I'll have nothing to do with any of you. Serena was struck as if by lightning. Her eyes instantly glazed over. She mechanically patted Leo's back, her voice hoarse. You are lying to me, aren't you? You love children more than anything. You wouldn't just abandon him. Before she finished speaking, Chloe came out from the exhibition hall, and naturally took my arm. Honey, the wedding planner is still waiting for us. Let's go. Chloe is the daughter of the Chu, our partner. We had known each other for half a year and admired each other. She was gentle and intelligent, handled herself gracefully, and was still quite young. Once we got to know each other better, getting married felt like the natural next step. Serena hugged Leo and crouched in the corner, silently sobbing. The child kept looking at me, but never dared to call me dad again. Later, I heard that Derek went abroad again to pick up women, and ended up getting into trouble with a local gang. He was beaten to death by a group of people, and even his body was not found. I still paid for Leo's medical expenses in the end. Although he wasn't my biological child, he was still an innocent child who knew nothing. But retribution always finds its way. Leo still didn't make it. The day Serena walked out of the hospital, no one ever saw her again, until a few months later, news broke. A female suicide victim was found in a dilapidated rental apartment somewhere. Chloe and I got married as scheduled. This time, I finally found the right person.